Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Jenny Larson. My husband and I own and operate the store Urban Renewal in the historic district of downtown St. George. I am joined with many friends, fellow downtown business people, and St. George residents who share my concern with the direction we appear to be heading and our stewardship of the downtown, as evidenced by the projects that the city is currently contemplating and supporting in the historic district. There seems to be a disconnect between what many members of the community would like to see developed downtown and what we hear is being pushed along by the city. There are many jewels in the historic district that we have proudly protected and cherish. The Brigham Young Home, the Opera House, the Old Courthouse, to name just a few. Thank goodness for these treasures, but jewels alone do not make an outfit. Without care being given to the handling of the overall character of the area, we could be left with a few tourist stops and a bland commercial center. That is what I fear, and that is what we are fighting to stop. We embrace new development downtown. Without it, we cannot move forward, and with it, we have opportunity for a more vibrant area. But a few poor choices could destroy the character of the historic district for good. Because of the downtown's fundamental importance to the character of the whole city and the quality of all of our lives, its development is something that should not move forward in disagreement. Every attempt should be made to build consensus, and clearly, right now, we are far from that. As the mayor told me a couple weeks ago, we have a fundamental disagreement about what we'd like to see being done downtown. Such a state of affairs should not remain. We are asking for a chance to talk about this, a chance to come together, a chance for everyone to feel good about the process. To begin this conversation, we have formed a new organization called the Downtown St. George Redevelopment Council. Our first meeting is tonight, immediately following this meeting and my comments at Urban Renewal. Our first members are with me here. So tonight we are going to begin building consensus and hearing what the community has to say about what they want downtown. Tonight we're going to begin tapping into the skills and talents of members of the community as we work together to get the downtown we all know is possible. Tonight we begin to collect the stories and ideas of everyone in the community to guide our planning. With your blessing, we will submit the results of this community-led planning effort to the City Council and the Planning Committee the first week of September. However, we need the Council's help. We cannot do this work in an environment when any day it seems the city might approve another commercial complex in the heart of our historic district. This is why we have been advocating so strongly that the city halt all projects in the historic district until we contribute our voice. It would be wrong for the city to push aside without giving us a chance to contribute to the process. The district is a small 2x3 block area. It took 150 years for it to get its charm. A few more weeks to be sure we are making good choices will not matter. We have submitted to you a petition with 1,200 signatures so far, asking for a pause in all projects in the historic district. We have sent you a letter signed by a majority of business owners in the historic district, including the owners of nearly every locally owned and operated business downtown, all asking for a pause. I am here today asking for a pause. I hope for the good of our great city that you will be responsive to your constituents and not move forward with any projects until one last attempt at a consensus has been given a chance. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, Brooks Pace. There's Brooks.
You're going to break your have to be a resident of St. George rule?
You were a property owner, so you would fit.
How about have to be nice?
Brooks, you're always nice.
Yeah, I thank you very much. I probably should first apologize for dragging the council, the mayor, and Gary into this brouhaha. I did make the mistake of getting ahead of myself. I should also apologize probably to Jenny and Eric. I should have included them in the plans from the beginning. It is true. mea culpa is being said. Let me get to the point. To try and rearrange something that's been going very well for 40 years, the charm of this city maybe started 152 years ago with some mud huts in the Bowery, but 40 years ago, this downtown was decrepit, and it was just about to be removed to Bluff Street and to the mall, etc. The city council of this city, for 40 years that I've been here developing, has fought for every historic building, especially the classic pioneer buildings. They put a huge amount of money and effort by the council, and they're too numerous to mention. 4 mayors that Gary's worked with, that I've worked with over the years, that have all been historic preservationists and have put a lot of effort into the Opera House, which Jenny mentioned, the courthouse, the city park now. So many. Zions Bank is downtown because of the city's efforts to keep them downtown with their little park on the corner there. So many things. I mean, the storefronts, the Bob Nicholson and a committee that he and I worked on for basically 30 years, spending money judiciously to restore the old buildings. And for some new group to come in and think that they can recreate a whole new historic preservation committee, a slap in Kim Campbell's face. He's the most objective guy in the world. When he started doing this design for me, the first thing he said is, you realize I'm not going to be able to represent this on the Historic Preservation Committee or even to the city. You're on your own. And then he and his associate, Craig Turner, went about creating one of the most beautiful retrofit or infill historic buildings I've ever seen. I'm highly impressed. I had a few ideas for it. They took it to a new dimension.
Brooks, just,
Is my 3 minutes up?
no, you've got a minute left, but actually, can I show, and I won't count this against you, can I show the rendering that you showed to us? Just because I want people to have a look at it that maybe wasn't as big or viewable in the newspaper.
I don't know that you can really see that, but that's the rendering that Brooks commissioned and showed the city manager and I, and then we in turn showed the city council.
And I would just say that, if you can hear me from here, for those of you that can't see it, this is the old Penney building. We actually used their color that a lot of people have complained about. We used every single element of that building, and we just built upon it. The second floor for hopefully some kind of a unique grocery store. There's a top floor for a restaurant type brew pub. But notice to the back, on city-owned property, not on top of this building, is a parking garage. But it doesn't look like a parking garage. It looks like 2 storefronts. And that was the creativeness of Kim and Greg Turner as they designed this building. I think it's a fabulous job, and I always will. Whether it ever gets built or not, because of you 30 or 40 people that are anti this project, I don't know. But I will say that I don't know why this battle is going on. I pulled out when my tenants, Jenny and Eric, made it clear they didn't want to be disturbed. And in their lease, they had a 5-year lease that gave them absolute right to no disturbance. I just thought they would be so excited about this addition, a parking garage that had parking at their ground level, 93 covered parking places, 2 other stores drawing traffic into the downtown. I thought they would like it. I'm very surprised they don't. At this point, nothing's going to happen for 3.5 years because that's what the lease says. In 3.5 years, it is true. I can break their lease, I can demolish the building, I can build a new building, and then, at current market rates, they can come back in and rent 150% of it. They're just shooting themselves in the foot. I offered them free rent while I did while they were inconvenienced, and half rent while the parking garage was being built. In 3.5 years, that goes all out the window, plus the last 15 years of their lease. I just don't understand their mentality. But I won't get mean about it. I like them. I like their store. I want to keep them as tenants. I want to keep them in the downtown. I hope maybe reason will prevail. The public opinion has been 5-1 in support of this project. So, I mean, please, as you weigh your decisions about changing the Historic Preservation Commission, drawing a line, stopping all projects in the downtown, it's just nonsense. It's a small group of people. I respect them. They have a right to speak out. I think they're wrong-minded. I think they're seeing the world upside down. Thank you.
Thank you. But I would like to say on this particular issue, there is a process, and it's a very well-defined process. It's really goes back to 1988, And so there is a historic preservation commission, and anything that happens in that 6-block area would need to first go through them. Then there's a planning commission, and then there's the city council. These are all 3 public processes. And then before that, frankly, as has been mentioned, there's a lease, a legal process between a business owner and between a property owner. And so there's time. And so I hope we will be able to come together and see how this might work. And some people, again, we have different opinions. We have different, what's beauty to one may not be to another. But I hope that we'll, again, know that nothing is going to be crammed through. There's no hurry on this. And we will go through our process just as we have since 1988. If there are things that we might decide as a mayor and council that need to be updated, we'll do that. If there are people whose terms are up and we might want to make some changes on that commission, we'll do that too as a normal course of business. So I just want you to know that's the way we'll be proceeding. Okay? Council, anything else? Otherwise, I'd like to move on. We do have a long agenda. Okay, thank you.